following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
Nothing like a little short track action on a Wednesday night, right? So we welcome you in Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It is race number 7 for GLSR and the Downrange Transport Premier Series as we get you ready for 205 laps of racing around this just shy of 3/4 mile oval in the debated town of Brownsburg/Clermont, Indiana. I always bring that up because when this track was built, and if you ever go back and watch the Thursday Night Thunder that was on ESPN back in the heyday, when they used to run USACs and stuff here, they always reference this track as Clermont, Indiana. Nowadays, when they race here, it is Brownsburg, Indiana all of a sudden. So you tell me, what town's this thing in? It's west of Indianapolis. We know that for sure. It is a very fun short track, progressive banking, and tons of great short track racing. This was the track that hosted the trucks in the Xfinity Series up until about 2012, and then the trucks actually came back and started running here again last season. So always good to see this short track doing a great job. Of course, you see the drag strip there in the background where they host drag racing for NHRA and stuff during the season. This track originally was a road course, if you didn't know, and of course now has turned itself into the oval/road course/ on iRacing rallycross track that you can run as it's a very fun track out to the west of Indianapolis by about 10-15 minutes or so as we get ready to go racing here tonight. Race number 7, which means there are 4 races to go as we go and get closer to the playoffs after tonight. Lucas Oil Raceway, as you see right there on the 24th. And next week we go just slightly south and west on I-70 to Gateway International Worldwide Technology Raceway for a sunset race there. And so we start the month of May. And then we go to Talladega Super Speedway, the one super speedway race on the schedule coming up in 2 weeks. Richmond and Michigan to finish out the regular season for this Premier Series. And of course, we get the playoffs kicked off after Memorial Day and at North Wilkesboro. Now, tonight it was actually announced about a day or so ago that a challenge had come out for the series here, and it starts tonight here at Lucas Oil Raceway. A Triple Crown Challenge presented by Mr. Radiator in a short track Triple Crown event tonight here at Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis Raceway Park, Richmond Raceway, and North Wilkesboro Speedway. The 3 events, which are about separated 3 weeks from tonight, will be the Richmond race, and in 2 weeks after that, North Wilkesboro. Whoever can score the most points in those 3 races will get themselves a prize from Mr. Radiator, and also there'll be an award for the hardest charger in that these 3 races. So a pretty cool deal done by Joey Ladisor, Mr. Radiator, based out of Canada. And looking forward to seeing how that all works out here starting tonight here at this Indianapolis Raceway Park. So big shout out to Joey for doing what he's doing here for this series. All right, let's take a look at the point standings, because as I mentioned, we are 6 races deep. Tonight, race number 7 before we get into the playoff season. Jonathan Tuckness leading the points, and that is because he has the most wins, as the points are set up here per the playoffs. So you see the 3 up there at the top, Miles, Justin Michael, Sam Fontaine. Those guys are all in the playoffs. Now, Justin Michael actually is going to take a provisional, as he's not going to make the race here tonight, so he'll stay up there, obviously, with the win, but will probably fall to 4th out of the 4, unless we get a new winner tonight, and then obviously it'll shuffle a little bit potentially. Tyler Pluff, the best of the rest, as he continues to just be consistent every week, and that's how he gets those top 5 finishes and sits there 5th in points. Lucas Strayer, Brandon Alphin, Alex Bryson, Diego Sainz, coming off that 2nd place run at Sonoma. Joey Ladisor there in the top 10. Peachin and Dalton, those are the bubble drivers right down there where Jason is in the 12th position. Blaine Sparling only 4 points out there in 13th. Rosenberg, Johnson, Cedric Ingram, Dalton Carter, Tyler Brewer, and there's Brandon Maciejewski, who missed last week's race, took the provisional there, and he had a big drop because of it. But a lot of racing still to go in this series, and obviously anything can happen and will happen in these next 4 weeks of racing here. And it starts tonight here at the Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis Raceway Park. As I mentioned, this track, very tricky. It is one of the original progressive banked tracks that you see in racing. As I'm trying to get one of the cameras cooperate with me, I'm going to try to get a blimp view here. Here we go. So we look down at, I think this is Richard Midkiff here in the 29 car. So it is an oval. Very sweeping corners, shorter straightaways. You see the front stretch there. You go down here and it's very flat. You see the seams basically. That's where you can see where the track pretty much progresses up. The top side is the way to go. You'll see cars all the way down to the bottom though. Very low grip, very high tire wear. So you'll see cars slipping and sliding, and you'll see people not getting to the throttle until about the Geico restart zone right there on the straightaways. So this track, obviously, it's a favorite of a lot of drivers. Now, believe it or not, it's one that every time I've experienced it in a league race, hasn't really had a big turnout. Obviously, tonight they've done a good job on the GLSR side, as they're at 20 right now, which is good, about their number they've had all season. But I've had series where we'll go run like 3 big tracks or whatever and have 20 plus drivers. We'll come here and there's 9. And it's like, oh that killed everything. So good to see the turnout here this evening as we get ready for qualifying in literally 20 seconds. We're going to go qualifying here. And as per usual, Spicy Schemes Hot Laps is what we call it here at GLSR. Big shout out to Sammy B, who's going to be awarding a free paint scheme to the person with the most poles this season, and somebody's going to get closer to that tonight because Justin Michael's not here to claim another pole. So we'll have a chance to award a different pole sitter here tonight under the lights, and then obviously $5 to the pole sitter each and every race. It's a pretty cool award to see Sammy B doing. Hopefully he's doing well. He's been a pretty busy man being dad here these last couple of weeks. So sometimes we see him, sometimes we don't. I know he's done a lot of work for me, and I've kind of backed off on, hey, could you do this for me? Because it's like, that man's pretty busy. There's Jason Dalton, going to be the first one out on track. You can see kind of the progressive banking there as Dalton runs the middle, up the back straightaway he goes. Into turn 3 and 4. The proper distance of this track is on iRacing, 0.68 miles. I don't know how that works out fraction-wise, but it's just shy of 3/4. I'll just put it like that. Sean Peach in 2188 right now on the pole. Let's watch Diego Sainz here. He just went purple. Ooh, Diego getting it loose. Lighting them tires up off turn 4 as he runs. And 82 and goes to the pole. Peaching back to the pole with a 78. As more cars work their way onto the track to get their usual 2 laps. Dalton with an 85, Ladisor 22 flat, a 61 there from Strayer. As Diego crosses the line, and he goes no quicker. 21.82, and will be P2. Ladisor crossing the line. Here's Brandon Alphin in the Morgan Wallen Special. I was jamming some Morgan yesterday while I was actually in a rental truck delivering. His song with Eric Church is pretty cool. In case you haven't heard it, it's called Man Made a Bar. Good song. Good tune. As Alphin crosses the line, and he is P5. As I don't think it counted his first lap because he actually hit the wall, it looked like. As Jonathan Tuckness, by the way, has thrown away both of his laps, as he must have got the wall both times. And sits in, he's going to qualify in the back, basically, when it's all over with. So, tough break there for the points leader. Here's Alex Bryson. As Fontaine slots in second, 21.79. Got about 5 cars still out on track running laps here. AB crosses, and he stays P5 with a 21.94. Jacob Thornton, who had a great run at Sonoma last week, P7. Peyton Johnson, the law firm, back after missing last week. He is 10th fastest right now, 22.14. And how about for this lap? Let's ride with Tyler Pluff. Listen how off the throttle he is, trying to roll back to it. Straight lines it off the corner, which actually isn't a bad idea. Try to get max grip off the corner. Take the wheel spin out. Almost like a diamond right there. Let it roll down to the middle part of the track. Enters middle. Slides up to the wall. Up here where it's higher banking. And brings it back down. Straight corner. That's actually a good lap for Tyler. Look good. And usually when a lap looks good, it's dead last, apparently. 15th fastest, 23 flat. Miles goes 22.61. This time Tyler goes to the bottom. See if it works. Third, there we go. I was going to say, don't make me look that bad, Tyler. 21.80. As Miles goes 87. As Maciejewski now on the track in the Bluey car. I might or might not have walked away with the tail between my legs if he would have done that on that lap. Brandon crosses the line. And Bluey goes to P7, 21.93. So it looks like everybody's off the track. Sean Peachin going to win the pole here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park. So with that said, we're going to go trackside for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the
iRacing here. 205 laps coming up here shortly from Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis Raceway Park, as we look at the starting lineup. Sean Peachin on the pole. Sam Fontaine starting on the outside there in row number 1. Row 2, Tyler Pluff and Diego Sainz. Row 3, Jason Dalton, Stephen Miles, Brandon Maciejewski, Alex Bryson, Brandon Alphin, and Jacob Thornton. Going to be row number 5. Joey Ladiseur, he's got row number 6 shared with Lucas Strayer. Dylan Rosenberg, Peyton Johnson, Richard Midkiff, Dalton Carter, Tyler Brewer, they're 17th, and then the cars that didn't qualify, Tuckness, Sparling, Cedric Ingram, and Robert Lukens. I noticed that bar is over here interrupting me again. Race information tonight. We'll go 205 laps as mentioned, 69 degrees. It is 85% humidity. They're partly cloudy skies. Of course, the league presented by our friends at Downrange Transport, that being Kevin Davis, who sponsors the series. Big shout out to him. Yes, here we go. Pace car gonna pull off as we get ready for the green flag, and race number 7 of this Downrange Transport Premier Series is green. And a good start for Sam Fontaine on the outside lane. Our camera is presented usually by TrackCams22.com, I should say. They don't have a camera pack actually for this track. But you can check them out online at TrackCams22.com for TrackCams 4 Gourmet is their name, as Sean Peachin leads lap 1. And this is not a timed race anymore. It's now an extra lap race. Back here, Ladiseur already starting to work his way up here through the field. Trying to work on getting that little black bar thing off the track, or off the track here. So I know you guys are probably seeing it myself like I am. Lucas Strayer, there's Richard Midkiff and Brandon Alphin battling for positions. What that looks like is exactly what I thought that was, the battle bar. As we watch Ladiseur and Maciejewski battle it out for position here. I guess that's what I have to do for now. All right. I fixed that issue, but I had to eliminate the battle box pretty much. All right. Up front, pressure, Diego. It's Sonoma all over again. Diego Sainz and Sam Fontaine for the lead. That's what happens when you're working on multiple things at one time. I was trying to fix the tire. I had 3 things at one time. Anyways. On board with Bluey here as he tracks down this 42 car, Jacob Thornton, who's been continuing to run consistent races each and every week. Had a great run on the short track at Sonoma last week, and now up here 9th position right now. And this is where you see the great racing at IRP here as Maciejewski drops to the bottom, and that's where it gets tight, because that top groove is actually faster coming off the corner because of the more banking. You almost have to try to be able to pull a slider if you can, and Brandon gets him cleared through the corner. Back here is Jonathan Tuckton is trying to work through the field after his rough start to the race and to qualifying as he gets inside of Midkiff here. Peyton Johnson right there in front of him. Their teammates, as a matter of fact, the 15 and 94. 21 there, Brandon Alphin there in front of that battle. It's funny, I've always picked on, I really didn't say anything to Sean tonight about it, but I've always picked on Travis Icavacci. When he first put this schedule out and stuff, and he had Lucas Oil on here the first time, I think he had like a 250 lap race. And I was like, Travis, you realize that's longer than any race has ever been here at this track, like in real life. I forget what his response was at that point, but it's kind of true. The Xfinity Series ran only 200 lap races back in the day here, and so did the trucks. And here we are tonight, running 205. Back up front, Fontaine. He battles the 44, and Diego's like, man, this is the same thing I just had to put up with last week. Can you work with me, guy? Sean Peach in there behind him. Sort of a home track race for Sean as he grew up about an hour up the road north and west in Lafayette before moving out to Vegas. Tyler Pluff there, 4th position for him. Stephen Miles running the Pac-Man car, eating those dots and running 5th right now. Top 9 cars, all within 0.3 of a second of each other here. Look at his line of cars. Yeah, I'm not saying that Sam's holding people up here, but there's a possibility here. Here's Thornton under attack as Peyton Johnson, the law firm, to the inside. Oh, not quite clear. Peyton could have slid up there and took it, but he actually still gave Thornton some room, and I think Thornton's going to yield the spot there, so move Peyton up to 10th. Now already 18 laps complete. Everybody pretty much single file until you get to here. And this is that Midkiff and Tuckness battle. As I drop papers to my right, Tuckness takes the position away. Now let's see if we get a very long green flag run here, because ever since I have introduced the Coleman cam to the racing series of all of them, as a matter of fact, this Peachin goes up there and hits the wall. Very easy to do here. We have not had long enough runs to see the camera go to work. And for those who do not know what the Coleman camera is, it's named after Chad Coleman, who showed me a very cool vantage point of a worn out right front tire on iRacing, and the fact that you can see the cords and everything now. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Well, let me introduce a camera named after you then. And here we are on board Tyler Pluff. And as you see, there's nothing right now to check out, really. Tires look good after 20 laps. Actually, you can see a little bit of wear starting to happen. Look right here on the right front shoulder. A little bit of a darker black seam right there. Oh, there's the wall. Keep an eye on that bad boy. Josh, that's supposed to be the first thing you say, not the 20th. All right, so now that the handling really starting to kick in here, where you see the comers and goers through the race. And one of those guys making his march is Louis here, Brandon Maciejewski. In a lot of sore battle. Louis racing him tough. Brandon going to clear him for positions. Brandon now up to 8th, so hate when that happens. Forgive me, my controller. I use a controller to move the cameras, and some reason there's some. Oh, and Brandon's got the outside wall as Joey went to the apron to make a pass. That was interesting. But anytime the cord comes unplugged, for some reason there's something going on with the. Oh, in trouble! Maciejewski into the wall with Strayer. First caution. I was about to explain. Some reason, I don't know if there's a USB issue with my plug-in up there, but something causes my computer to like completely wig out when it unplugs or plugs in. The caution for the first time is Maciejewski involved, along with Strayer. What? Oh, that's where this started. So it started with Dalton and Brandon coming together. Let's go crash cam here. We'll get everything here. We'll get the answers we need. Starts here. Let's actually back it up a little further. I think Brandon tried to clear himself on Dalton's nose and wasn't clear. Maybe Brandon got loose there or something, but he and Lucas make contact. Brandon slams the outside wall. And caution out for the first time, as not really any takers on pit road here other than Jonathan Tuckness and Tyler Brewer. Might be in to get some fuel, and we'll see if they use some tires here. Yeah, it's going to be fuel only, it looks like, for those. So I'm actually going to give me a second. I'm going to put the logo up for a second just to do something real quick here. So that we don't have that issue again, I'm going to make a change. We're getting ready to go green. Okay, we'll come back to it. It's not working. I was going to try to change the settings real quickly on that, but it's in cameras. That's why it's got it. Hello. All right. Coming to the green, lap number 33. Fontaine and Signs. As we enter the Geico restart zone, Sam launches and we're back to green. Prime opportunity here to take some positions away from people, or just make that mistake and lose some track position. I'll have to check on Alphin, Strayer, Brewer, and Blaine Sparling. Potential tires on those cars here at this stop, so we'll have to see if they can work their way up here through the field as Peyton Johnson slides her inside on Bryson. Peyton using up. Oh, Ladisor was not happy about that. He went up there and used up Peyton, and that might have been one of those, I'm going to wreck you, but I'm going to keep you straight too. That's like a bump, run, and save. Like there's the bump and run, there's, the bumper, and then there's the bump, run, and save. I think we just saw the third. He bumped him, he went to run, and then saved him. That might have hurt Peyton's tires. We'll have to see as we carry on here. As you see Ladisor riding now behind his teammate there, Jason Dalton. There's Lucas Strayer going by. He's got tires, as mentioned. He's the first one on tires in the 10th position. Brandon Alphin there to the inside, and there's Thornton up into the wall. Tuckness did not take tires. I think in his case, he's just kind of topping off the fuel with the gas tank size you have in these cars, plus the laps here. Not exactly sure how far you can go on a tank of fuel, but I would say it's going to be up at 100 laps somewhere in that range. So this might be a one-stop race for mostly everybody. The question is, can the tires go that far? As here comes Brandon with the freshie. He's going to go past the 2 and the 15. Trying to get a buy one, get one here in turn 3. Fontaine is pulled out to about a 7/10 of a second lead. Diego Signs their second, battle for third with Peachin and Tyler Pluff. Tyler trying to get that first win here in this series. Then you got the guy behind him who's got the most wins out of the Premier Series. And that would be Stephen Miles, who has 8 series wins in just the Premier Series. Of course, the trucks I did not count in that. Thanks to SimRacer Hub for all these awesome numbers, being able to break down everything now. Seems like every week I learn something. Oh, here we go. to see him get on the brakes big time there to prevent from running into Peyton. Ooh, Peyton getting a little loose on entry there. Going to kind of open the door for the 23 as he kind of goes down to... Oh, and more RG Bargy. Where's Denny at when we need him? Keep an eye at the front. Lucas Strayer is now up to the third positions past both Pluff and Peachin. But he's got about 2 seconds or so to get to Fontaine. We'll keep an eye on that as these guys start the battle. This is what that progressive bacon does. It opens up. Joey's about at it, I'm thinking. Tuckness, teammate to Peyton Johnson, trying to help him get through. There's Tyler Brewer behind him. It's fantastic. That's why I'm kind of happy in the booth now, and I don't have to worry about racing too much anymore. It's, as I've done this more and more, it's like, man, I don't have to worry about pissing off anybody anymore. iRacing. Sit over here and say what I want. Oh, Tuckness. Oh, okay, that's a different lane. Oh! Probably going to rethink that. And Lana Stewart clears. Alfin up to the 5th position now, looking to get around Peachin as he works his way through. Strayer up to 2nd now. And unfortunately for Maciejewski, Bluey is destroyed again. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. If you're enjoying the broadcast and the race, you can always hit the subscribe button. Of course, we're on 5 now nights a week. 5 nights a week. We're 6, but unfortunately the Thursday night broadcasts aren't happening now for a little bit. We do got something in the works, so potentially down the road. As Brewer's got the fresher tires, he's past Tuckness, past Peyton Johnson. You wonder if Peyton has smoked that tire. I don't see too much right now. Looking pretty good. Strayer's got the lead down to 1.3 seconds. You see Brandon talking about, looks like some kind of netcode issue. Got a contact there with Dalton. Unfortunate deal there, and broke the steering. So unfortunate deal there for Brandon. Had kind of some rough luck this season. The old sophomore slump, I guess they would call that. As Alfin goes to 3rd. So we've been green about 29 laps or so now. And it's taken that long to get through the field to the front for these fresh tires. So might want to take note of that later on in this race. I mean, obviously, different time at the end of the race, but still. Seems like it took an awful long time for the fresh tires to get through. As there's your leader, Fontaine. Lap time's fallen off only about a half a second so far, so not seeing the fall off that you might expect at this track, but probably going to see a lot of heat in the tires. Those buildings or whatever those are in the background, I believe, as they go past Dalton Carter in the 3. Good to see him back on track. On Discord, the very opinionated Dalton Carter, by the way. I believe those are water towers. I never really got a chance to ask. I've seen them before. One thing Fontaine's done a good job on is kind of minimizing now the speed of that 41 car, because now as we get up here into the field a little bit, the times have kind of evened out amongst the fresh tires and the older tires here. So good job by the 77 to kind of help maintain that gap. But I mean, last time by, Strayer was about a 10th faster, Alton actually a 10th slower than the leader. So now, again, these tires, I think, are starting to even out a little bit here. Here's a battle for the 6th position. We'll add that to 5th now. Tyler Pluff trying to get inside of Sean Peach in the pole sitter. Jason Dalton back there with Alex Bryson also. Great racing here so far. Good short track racing. Just the one caution so far. Oh, slider! Yikes! Bryson clearing himself on the nose of Sean. Let's go back to the front. Here comes Strayer. Fontaine running a pretty unorthodox line there off the corner. Bringing it all the way down to the bottom groove. Trying to help get that car to turn a little bit. Now they're starting to come up on some lap cars. You see the 19 of Cedric Ingram. Oh, and Strayer gets into the wall a little bit there. Robert Lucan's there in front of them, and then Blaine Sparling a little ways out. Dalton Carter bringing the 3 to pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not. Yeah, Cedric does a good job there cleaning, or staying clear, I should say, to the top side there, allowing the leaders to go by. Could have easily given Fontaine a little bit of a hard time there going by as he goes a lap down, but realizes, I'm not that fast, so go on by. So while these two battle, let's go back here because Peachin and Dalton. Peachin unfortunately falling back as Jason going to clear him for the 9th position. 8th position, or 7th, I should say. Something like that. He's up there somewhere. For Dalton Carter, a 44-second stop, so yeeks. Some damage there probably to fix. And Brandon Alphin might have worn the tires off this car, because here comes Diego Sainz back at him. .73 laps complete. Again, race number 1 tonight at the newly introduced, as Alphin gets passed by Sainz for 3rd, Mr. Radiator Triple Crown Challenge here on the short tracks. Tonight, as at Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park, as Tuckness gets past Miles for 9th. And then in 3 weeks at the Richmond Raceway. And then 2 weeks after that at North Wilkesboro. 3 races, points keeping track of those 3 races particularly. And whoever scores the most points will get a prize from Mr. Radiator. And also, there will be an award for the Hard Charger. A big shout out to Lottasaur for putting that up. And it will not be like a golden Radiator cap like we joked around about when he won the dirt race last season at Eldora. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the race here this evening. Only the one caution here so far in 76 laps. Obviously, you got a lot of strategy to come into play here. When do these leaders come to pit road? I assume they're going to try to get to lap 102, 103 at least, which will be the halfway point. You try to run the stint all the way out. Very long pit road here, all the way around from turn 3 to turn 2. Pit speed here, I believe, is 40 miles an hour. As here's Pluff now going around Brandon Alphin. Racing going to go by for the 5th position. A lot of cars starting to, you're seeing those guys starting to fall back a little bit more now as this race goes on. I mean, I look at Peyton Johnson, who's obviously got that rear end damage. It's probably not helping things. He is all the way back to the 14th position. Here comes Sean Peach into pit road, lap 81. So if this is the case, then we've got a 2-stop race on our hands. Give me a look here. Let's see what we got. Look how the center part is a lot lighter than the shoulders. That's how you can tell the wear on this thing. Get stopped. Yeah, looking pretty solid there. Not too worn out. You can see the change in the tint when the car gets the new tire on it. It's always a pretty cool deal. 4 tires and fuel for Peachin. 14.6. He pulls away. He's gonna feel like Superman on those tires. Unless he goes backwards here. Now, if they can go, what would that be from 83 to 205? It's 120 22 laps. If they can go that fast, that's really, or that long, that's really impressive. I mean, that was some pretty good wear on that. Oh, everybody going over hitting the wall here on that lap. But that was pretty good wear on those tires for almost 80 laps. As Fontaine enters lap traffic, and look right here in front, Peyton Johnson. As Strayer continues to stalk that 77. Alex Bryson making a pass, 4th position for AB. So Bryson doing the long run strategy here, it looks like, tonight. He's kind of backed off, let the car come to him, and doing a pretty good job here. Sammy Barnes checking in. Fontaine Barnes is busy with the Oragel. Or, of course, you have the other way of helping teething babies that I will not promote on the air. I'll just mention the other way. And for those who are parents, know it involves things that are drunk. Ooh, Fontaine giving. Did Fontaine just give Brewer the bumper? We had admin on admin violence here. I have to call the HR department at GLSR and see what that's all about. Wait, who is HR now? It used to be Clark. Thank you, Mr. Ramsey, for getting it right the first time, unlike your friend. Right now, peeking down at the time. Sean Peachin, last lap, 22:64. Everybody else 23:31, so it's only 3/4 of a second. So, I mean, the fall off, I'm actually very impressed with how it's not falling off too much, which I'm going to throw out there. That could make things interesting where tires, 2 tires, maybe down there. If we get a late caution in this race, might become a possibility. Dreyer getting ever so closer, trying to get to Fontaine. So the field pretty much spread out. We got 11 cars on the lead lap. Closest battle right now is, well, actually a couple lap cars back here. Let's check it out. Midkiff and Brewer. Robert Lukens right here. Lap cars matter. That's where it all started in this league. You have to wonder, you try to make this run as long as you can. Yes, the ideal strategy here is you run this as far as you can go. Falcon's trying to slide job himself there. And I say that because obviously you're going to look out for cautions and that kind of thing. And you look at Sean Peachin right now, still a lap down, and he's back here in 18th right now. And has a long ways to go if he's going to get back on the lead lap. And you do not want to get trapped in that spot, or else then you got to take a wave around on older tires, which is not going to be fun. Fontaine putting a lap on, or putting a lap down, Mr. Ladouceur there into 23. So next car to go a lap down. How about this one? Stephen Miles. The struggle bus out for Pac-Man as Peyton Johnson comes to pit road. Here comes Tuckness Willem, so teammates in. Let's observe in what we got here. I don't see cords, but it looks pretty close to it. That's some good wear right there, boys. He's got a new tire already, I think. So, have some good wear on that 15. Brandon Alf into pit road. This might be a good one to look at, as we're right at lap 100. Look how, like, the lighter shade of color. I even hit the stop button here for a second. Look at the darkest of the shoulders, and then you got all of this right here. That tire is pretty worn. Now you don't have the cords yet, but still. All right, back to live. So, that's the reason why I showed this camera, because it's amazing the technology that iRacing has got in here now to where we can literally go in and see how bad somebody's tire is. I mean, we're at halfway right now. We've had one caution, so we've run all but 5 laps so far, or roughly 4 or 5 laps under green. So these tires are nearly 100 laps old. As Dalton comes to pit road, mid-kiff on pit road now. Tuckness, a 21.90 with new tires, just ran the fastest lap of the race. Miles going to come to pit road as he gets lapped. Ladouceur on pit road now. All this happening just past the halfway point. You can see the cars who have come to pit road. The patience you have to use at this track on throttle. When you think that you can get back to the throttle in these corners, at that point, you wait even longer. As here comes Fontaine. Started second, led every lap until now. Brings Diego Sainz and Alex Bryson with him to pit road. That's a good looking tire right there. Wow, very impressed. Rewind, make sure this is the... I mean, look at the difference here. You can see who's wearing that right front out and who's not. Look at that. I mean, when you can see the dark tint on the outer edge of the car, you've worn it out pretty good. Tyler Pluff leading this race. He's going to try to go the long way here. He and Robert Lukens at the pit. So far, I think we can all agree Brandon Alphin might have the biggest worn tire on the right front so far. All right, Pluff coming to pit road now. Tyler doing exactly what I would do. Run right down on that yellow line through the corner. Especially when most leagues have rules where it says, hey, you got to stay to the right on pit road. You're on the right side of the pit box as long as you're on that yellow line. 4 tires and fuel for him as he will leave pit road 14-6. So there we go. Made it through green flag pit stops for the most part. Just waiting on Robert Lukens to come to pit road. And with that said, let's take you through the field at lap 111 and show you where everybody is running. Race number 7 here of the Premier Series. It is Sam Fontaine leading this race. There's a new second place racer, and he pitted roughly 15 laps ago, and that being Jonathan Tuckness now in the 94. He has jumped his way up to second and leads Lucas Strayer, who's going to try to get around him for second. Tuckness already with 3 wins this season. Had a rough run last week at Sonoma. So he settled down for a second there, but there was Lucas Strayer there in the 3rd position. Sean Peachins worked his way back to 4th. Remember, Sean was the first of the leaders to pit road, or first on the lead lap at lap 80. So he is on older tires there in the 4th position. And then there's a choo-choo train here coming through as they go past Thornton. Jason Dalton, Diego Sainz, Joey Ladasor, 5th, 6th, 7th. All right there on your screen. This is going to become a 4-car battle here in a second. There's Diego. And behind them, Alex Bryson, 7th position. Alex is about 8 seconds back from the leader. And about 1.2 back from this battle here. Blaine Sparling quietly running in the 8th position here. The Red Sim Design Angel Pixie 69 car. Brandon Alphin back here, 10th position. As caution for Robert Lukens over here in turn 1. Second caution. And Bob brings out the yellow, unfortunately. Leaders are going to be coming to pit road here. Most of them. Goes into turn 1 and oh, too much rear brake. Spins her around. See who's on pit road here out of the bunch. Strayer, Sainz, and Pluff stay out. Brandon Alphin going to stay out also. This kind of hurts Brandon a little bit because he only has 1 set of tires left, I think, for the rest of the race. As most of these guys will now. And it looks like, did Tuckness beat Fontaine off pit road? If so, that's interesting. could be kind of a game changer. Oh, no, okay. So that was just Fontaine yielding to Tuckness coming off pit road. All right, be right back. You're not missing anything, I promise. All right, see, didn't miss anything. All right, so lucky dog there, I believe, was Stephen Miles. So he's back in the lead lap in the 11th position. And with Lucas Strayer staying out, he and Sainz and see Pluff and Alfin, that kind of traps some other cars a lap down, like Ladouceur, Brewer, Midkiff. So I did some breaking down of the numbers, by the way, as I've got to sit here and learn a lot more about Sim Racer Hub and all the different things they're able to do now. So this is the 35th, or 34th, I should say. Or no, it is 35. I'm sorry, I can't count. 35. Actually, now I've got to double count myself. This is race 7, 14, 28. Yeah, 35. So 35th race of the in the Downrange Transport Premier Series history. And 2 drivers have made all 34 starts. Jason Dalton, Alex Bryson, as we go back green with Lucas Strayer leading the way, taking that top side. Best average finish out of all drivers, believe it or not, is, and this is drivers, by the way, that have made more than 30 starts, as we're 3 wide down to turn 3. Fontaine to the bottom, caution back out, Jacob Thornton. Thornton is towed back to pit road, and we'll save you that little nugget here in a second. Third caution. Uh-oh, do we have cautions? Breeding cautions. Three wide here. Oh, and Thornton just loses the back end and noses down into the wall, right down there with those people. Have to check on the crowd down there, make sure everybody's okay. No catch fences down in that area, which might be still safer than that catch fence we saw a couple nights ago in the high limits race. Watch again here. Man, 4 wide right here. Yikes! And there goes Thornton. Blew the motor at that light contact, believe it or not. Look at this, Sainz and Peyton Johnson come to pit road here. All right, so going back to the Nuggets here. Drivers with 30 or more, we'll call it. 30 or more starts in the series. Best average finish, Stephen Miles with a 5.6. So he's averaging almost a top 5 in 33 starts. Average starting position, Sam Fontaine with a 4.9. So he's averaging a top 5 start in every race pretty much there at the 33 starts he has made. Laps led, no surprise there. Sam Fontaine, Stephen Miles lead the way there. Fontaine, 852 plus the 102 or so he's led tonight, so he's getting up there near 1,000. Miles, 631. Lucas Strayer, third at 283. All right, let's talk to a driver. Let's talk to Tyler, who's running in the second position right now. Tyler, Bluff, you get a copy, bud?
I gotcha.
Hi, man. Honestly, some strategy coming into play here now. We had a very long run, and you were one of the last ones to come to pit road. So you have, I was going to say some of the fresher tires from now that we've had this caution. It's kind of changed things a little bit, though. But do you feel tonight you could potentially put it in there?
We're gonna do our best. I got a teammate up here starting on the front row with me, so we're gonna try and get a Brewer Motorsports 1-2 at the worst. But I know Fontaine's real fast, and we're gonna battle some fresh tires, real fresh tires behind us. But really confident in our Ford Mustang to stay up front. We've had a really good car all day.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to feel pretty good too to be up there in the points this season.
Yes, absolutely, and not digging out of a hole like last year. So just got to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely, man. Best of luck here. We'll get you down to your channel.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Tyler Bluff there running in the second position outside his teammate there. Brewer Motorsports, as you mentioned, Lucas Strayer. Bluff, the best of the rest right now, leading the points outside of those who are in the playoffs. Strayer takes the bottom side this time. So they'll probably get the restart here and try to slide up in front of Bluff as they go green. Lap 129 in the books. Right on cue. Tuckness trying to get Bluff going and almost gets him loose into the wall there. Tuckness does have the fresh tires here. He pitted. And lap 118, so did Fontaine. Now let's hope I didn't cause the jinx on Bluff like a couple nights ago in the Monday Night League where I talked to Chudra. Oh, and Diego Sainz gets turned. Cautions breed cautions. And it looked like, was that Sparling? Kind of bomb. Sparling gets in the outside wall slightly. Come off of turn 4. Signs. Oh, he gets loose himself. Never mind. I stand corrected. Rosenberg catches some damage, but Diego unfortunately eats himself. Very easy to do on progressive banking here. Because you got to remember, I always bring this up. Think of yourself when you're driving on the interstate on an uneven highway. You get up there on that next level of pavement, you always feel your car kind of move a little bit. Same kind of thing here. You see him go from the bottom right up to the middle, and you can already see the back end coming around. Rosenberg going to catch some damage there. Nice job by Midkin. Carter, he almost ended Diego. Peyton Johnson blames Sparling now to pit road. Under this caution. Good opportunity for cars to get themselves repaired, get yourself back into running, a chance to get a good top 5 or top 10 finish here, potentially when it's over with. So we get down now into the witching hour of the race, if you will. Let's jump over to Monday night real quickly here. As I was talking about the other series where I interviewed 2 drivers. They were in two different places on the track. Went green. And within a lap or two, they found themselves between or next to each other at Talladega. And hit each other and brought the next caution out. And I'm like, all right, that's the ultimate jinx right there. Tonight, let's hope that doesn't happen since I just talked to Mr. Pluff. But also on Monday nights, of course, there's a split series deal going on with the trucks and SRX series here for GLSR. Trucks ran on Monday night at the Milwaukee Mile. And SRX, of course, continuing on their schedule here I have. Let's see, tomorrow being the, let's see, it's the 25th. So we get the 29th, next Monday, this coming Monday night. Langley, the 4/10 mile flat short track in Langley, Virginia. Going to be the next race on the schedule. That's the old lap totals. I know it's all single now, by the way, so it's 60 laps. But that was the one I was given a long time ago, so it's been saved. It's still there. Just change that 2 to a 1 and, well, do 60 times 1, and you'll figure out how many laps it is. All right, coming to the green, 70 laps to go. With Fontaine and Tuckness, the top two. Here we go. Tuckness, crossover and potential slider here. Fontaine holds him off. So we got the guy that will try any move to take the lead versus the guy that will keep you from getting the lead any way possible. Each and a Miles hitting contact there, and there's teammates in front there, battling with Bryson and Alphin. Easy, boys. Miles, a little bit of a downshift there. Fontaine's gotten away by about half second now over Tuckness. This is the battle right here. 5 cars under a blanket now. Here comes Peyton Johnson with the comeback. There we go. I'm trying to get this to work for me. Miles going to get past Olf and Fontaine, or sorry, Ladisor trying to get around the 21 at the same time. And meanwhile, up front, Jonathan Tuckness has caught Fontaine and taken the lead, or at least for now. I mean, they were literally separated by a half a second, and Tuckness hawked them back down and took the lead quickly, and now Fontaine battling back. Tuckness doing a little bit of shifting. I mean, if you're Fontaine, do you let Tuckness go and try to save your tires a little bit here, but keep the pressure on? You got to wonder if these guys are just scorching their tires right now doing this. Ain't closer than that. There's a downshift from Tuckness. You never. But that is a fair statement. Diego Sainz back on pit road. His rough night continues. Fontaine with a good run through 3 and 4 there. And that's basically what Tuckness is doing. His defense is he's shifting to save his car, to trying to just get the momentum off the corner. This is a fantastic battle here. I mean, they haven't, if they've touched, they've leaned on each other. Not been any kind of egregious. Like, that's rubbing right there. I'm not going to say anything about that. Tuckness doing a good job keeping Fontaine from throwing a dive in there, because he's sending it into the corner pretty deep there. A little contact there. Ooh, hold on, Sammy. Might have to regroup there after that. This is what makes this track fun. The progressive banking I talked about. As Tuckness is going to clear here, Fontaine might have to regroup for a second. That was pretty fun to watch. Well, Fontaine regroups for probably a half a lap. Let's jump back here. Peyton Johnson and Tyler Pluff battle for 5th. 4th and 5th. Ah, never mind, they're back at it. Sorry. It's a great battle. I wish I could split screen this. There we go. Peyton in the inside. And he takes the position away. I mean, there can't be a way these both both these guys are saving their tires in this battle. So, I mean, if you're Lucas Strayer, you're Jason Dalton back here behind these two, you got to be kind of licking your chops like, just run your own pace. Run your own pace. They're going to come back to me. You got to be thinking that, right? I mean, am I wrong here? I mean, both of them are shifting now, I think. No, never mind. Maybe it's just Tuckness shifting. This has been a great short track race here. Already had one of the craziest super... This week, I've had the craziest Pocono race I've ever called on Sunday. One of the best super speedway races I've had a chance to call Monday. I'm not even going to get into Tuesday. And then this tonight. Great stuff. So even though Tuckness is running that line and having to hold off Fontaine, he's still able to... I mean, I understand it's a tire-saving line teller, but it's like how hard he's probably having to drive this car to hold Fontaine off, you would think, right? I mean, with the way Fontaine drives? I mean, I see your point. I'm surprised iRacing hasn't fixed that blackout deal yet. That's been here for years. I mean, I can understand if like the lights fade. That's what it is, but just completely just exits out the cars. Lucas Strayer's got it down to 1.1 seconds. Everything else is kind of getting stretched out now. Pluff and Bryson have been watching that battle a little bit. Tyler Brewer and Brandon Alphin back here for 12th. They're getting pretty tight. We'll have to watch that. But this has been the fight right here. With 40 laps to go this time by. Thrower in the gear. Good grief. Dalton Wilson giving room to the guys as Tuckness getting up in the outside wall a little bit. Little kiss. Little smooch. Let's go back to these guys. 6th, 7th, and 8th here. Peyton Johnson, great comeback for him after having the issues early in this race, kind of getting stuffed in the wall a little bit there early. Had to get that rear end fixed. Still not 100%. The right side's got a little crinkle there above the wheel. Bryson, you wonder if he's still got that long run car under him. He was able to make some passes late in the run during that nearly 100 lap green flag run at the beginning of the race. Yeah, some reason in this track, Diego, and I'm sorry to see that happen to you, brother, but this track is very notorious. Like earlier, the caution for Thornton, he literally, I mean, at this track, he hits the wall barely in the inside on the backstretch, and it blew the motor on his car. I don't know if it's because the inside wall doesn't have a safer barrier or what the deal is. but it literally blew his motor. And not to mention, I bring up the Talladega race of mine on Sunday I ran in the NIS race. This isn't even a damage model thing. This is more of an incident point thing. And I actually took that iRacing survey and answered the question with probably my biggest disappointment is the way that that is graded. I had a wreck happen behind me. And because the guy bumped me to push me, and then behind him he gets turned, like a couple seconds after the push, it actually gave me a 4X for the wreck, which ended up being a 4X I needed that kept me from I would finish like, I think 10th or so. I ended up 22nd because of a penalty on the last wreck for too many incident points. Ah, come out of the race right there, boys. Somebody go into the treehouse and change Kelder's name to the Meatball. Sergeant Meatball. Alright, so I went back and found it really quickly. Here's all the battles have pretty much settled down. Let's go back here. I'm going to show you this Thornton wreck really quickly. And this is the example I talked about. Watch how Thornton barely hits this wall. I mean, that's not hard contact. Look at the black smoke. Done. I mean, I've hit a wall harder than that. And carry on. Bryson and Peyton Johnson battle for the 6th spot. I was gonna say, where did Cedric Ingram come from? He must have tires. Brandon Alphin, I think, is just waved the white flag, and he's just like, I'm getting out of everybody's way. So 0.2 of a second between Tuckness and Fontaine. Fontaine putting the pressure on. They have pulled away by 1.4 over Lucas Strayer, who's got 2 seconds on Dalton, who's got 2 on Pluff. He's got a second on Peyton Johnson, and that's where this battle is. Easy. That's Brandon's job here, Diego, not yours. Which, by the way, speaking of chairs, I was told today my daughter at school threw a chair. I was like, what? Whose attitude she's got. Anyways, 25 laps to go. Two battles right here we're watching. Peyton versus Bryson, and then Tuckness and Fontaine just continue. I have a feeling the Fontaine-Tuckness deal is not over with. Three laps to go. Gateway next week, Wednesday night. Same captain time, same captain channel. mean, these two, I mean, this goes back to what Telder said in chat a minute ago about how these guys are finding a way to be the fastest cars, even though they went to war for about 40 laps. They're still the fastest cars out there on the track. And apparently Ramsey didn't hear my comments earlier about Tuesday nights. As I said earlier, Sunday night had probably the best Pocono race I've ever broadcasted. Monday night, the best super speedway race I might have ever broadcasted. I'm not even going to comment on Tuesday. Wednesday night, one of the best short track races I've watched so far. This week's been pretty good on the racing side on my end. Tomorrow night, maybe I'll spot one of my best races of all time. I don't know. Bryson doing everything he can. Peyton's doing the perfect job of defensive driving. Oh, wait a minute. Do we need to pull out the Mad Libs from the podcast? Tuckness one got the outside wall there. Fontaine continues to drop that car to the bottom, trying to just get a little bit of grip and clean air on that car. 15 to go. Facts. But the Mad Libs are still alive. I can bring those out anytime. Should we ask the $1 million question here? Does Fontaine use the bumper if needed? I mean, is that entirely possible here? Is it out of question? You just got to remember, you got points, and here comes Fontaine inside. He's going to clear him. Oh, he had him cleared for about a second. Tuck this side draft. He's got him cleared. Fontaine to the lead. He didn't need the bumper. Now he's got lap traffic to put up with, though. Nine laps to go, and these two continue to fight. Oh, Payton got the wall good there. Action over in chat. It's more tense than, well, never mind. Fontaine's pulling away. Well, he was. It was up to 4/10 for a second there. Tuckness with a good run back off 4. 7 to go. And the lap traffic's picking up more. And oh, by the way, Peachin, Sparling, and Ladasor, that is a battle for position right here. This is all 9th, 10th, and 11th now. Here come the leaders in here. To go. As Tuckness throws a bomb on Peachin to get by him. So again, I go back to this. Let's ask the question again. Fontaine did not downshift. Tuckness was downshifting. Was that the difference in this race? Did Tuckness burn the tires up downshifting? And still's downshifting, by the way. Tires actually look pretty solid there. I mean, they're going too quick for me to even tell, but yeah, why not look anyway? Oh, Dalton took the line away from Tuckness there. Didn't mean to, I'm sure, but still. Up to 4/10. Pluff has caught Jason Dalton for 3rd. Make that 4th. That's back to 0.6 of a second as Fontaine's going to see the white flag. Final lap from IRP. Fontaine went to victory lane last week at Sonoma, and he is going to go back to back and score the first win in the Triple Crown. Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park goes to Fontaine in a great battle with Tuckness. Dalton holds off Pluff for 4th. And Johnson holds off Bryson for 6th. Clean racing from all these guys. And nothing to be ashamed of, I think, out of any of these guys tonight. That was fantastic. I think Fontaine is done with the burnouts. I think Tuckness pulling up there out of respect just to say congrats to him. Fontaine wins it by 0.7 of a second over Jonathan Tuckness. Lucas Strager 3rd. I mean, those two battled for, 60 laps? And he pulled away from 3rd and 4th and 5th. That should say enough right there. Strager 3rd, Dalton 4th, Pluff 5th. Peyton Johnson and Alex Bryce at 6th and 7th. By the way, the birds are still outside. I'm noticing. I'm hearing them. Blaine Sparling 9th. That was random, I know. Miles 8th behind, or in front of Sparling. Peachin 10th. Ladasor, Brewer, Midkiff 11th, 12th, and 13th. Alphin 14th. Dylan Rosenberg finishing in the 15th position. Where did I leave off? Luke in 16th, Dalton Carter 17th. The rest of these guys had issues. Cedric Ingram, Diego Sainz, Jacob Thornton, and Brandon Maciejewski finishing in the 21st position here tonight in a race that only saw 4 cautions. So, and I'm pretty sure the boxing ring is going to have nothing tonight to talk about, really. So, that'd be interesting. Don't know if that's ever happened. Let's get our third place finisher, Lucas Strayer. I'm going to interrupt his video. He should know that I'm going to bring him up here. So why he's sharing a video in the middle, he knows I'm about to bring him up here. Strayer finishes in the 3rd position. Lucas, obviously, congratulations on the fantastic run. Pit strategy definitely put you in the spot tonight.
So I just want to say thank you to my family who keep watching this, because I have been nowhere to be seen for the past couple of weeks. So shout out to family that's still watching. Love all of you guys. But anyways, also, that was the best racing I have ever seen. Like watching Fontaine and Tuckness battle, like I said it multiple times on the radio, I wasn't even paying attention to my own race. I wasn't paying attention to my line. I wasn't paying attention to Jason Dalton behind me. I was really watching some fantastic racing. So, as you know, you can catch some of the best racing on Captain Esports Network. But, yeah, bad situation with Brandon. I don't know what happened. We were actually watching the replay. It was the weirdest thing. We got together and spun, and I was just like, I have nothing to lose. I'm literally in last place. Might as well just pit and see what I can do. And yeah, never went back. Like I went from a 9th place car to running 2nd, 3rd the rest of the race. So that's really cool, man. Like I came in here expecting like if I got a top 10, I'd be happy, but I'll take 3rd. That means I get to drink tonight.
For those wondering what it sounded like in 1995 when AOL Online came out with their sound and phone lines and stuff, listen to Lucas Strayer right now. Obviously, still a great run though, as you get to celebrate there. As I know Maciejewski kind of talked about it in chat, looks like some kind of steering issue apparently after getting in the wall, and he just actually said that he messaged you. But either way, still a great run tonight, and it's good to see you back up here in the top 3.
Yeah, like I'll take it any way I want to. Like didn't think that was going to be how I ended up here, but yeah, shout out to Grit Marketing for being on here, and Spoiler Diecast. Remember, you can use code word GLSR at checkout to save 5%. And yeah, free drinks tonight, Scala. Let's go.
Some of us have to get up at 4 in the morning. I can't drink. Anyways, but great job tonight. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
I already said shout out to my family for watching me each week. I know past couple weeks they've seen me just be terrible. So it was looking the same way about lap 27. So
there you go.
Miracles.
Go ahead.
Miracles happened.
I did a drink for you. I took a drink at the last of the generic Aldi drink soda that I'm drinking right now because I'm cheap. Anyways, great job.
I'll take it. Thank you, man.
3rd place finish for Lucas Strayer, as we'll go back to his team and let him chat with them and show the video off. And yeah, again, for those who wanted to know what it sounded like in Windows 95 back in the heyday, you just heard it. All right, 2nd place finisher, Jonathan Tuckness. As Jonathan joins us, and are you frustrated? Are you okay with this? I mean, that was some of the cleanest racing for a 70-lap battle I've seen.
I'm tickled pink, man. I couldn't have said any more better things to Sam about that race, and like I said something to Strayer about 55 laps before that if I didn't like you, I wasn't going to lean on you, and I felt the same coming from Sam. I think that there's a trust that was built right there on these short tracks. I'll probably be door to door with Sam a lot more between now and the end of the season, and I think we set a precedent that we can race clean, and the better tire manager and lane choice is gonna prevail. It's not gonna be a wreck fest.
So let me ask this, because the one big thing I noticed, and I was talking with guys in chat about it, The biggest difference I saw between you and him, you were shifting, he wasn't. Was that the difference basically in the tire management?
I would love to go back and watch his in car the whole race and see where his breaking point was. I felt like I was able to go in a lot deeper and use the shift to help the thing rotate and just keep the right front hot on entry and keep the right rear cool on exit. And it just I don't know, man. I don't know that was it. I think that Sam is a perfectionist, and he knew that he could sit back there and wait. He chose not to wait for a while. We ran side by side for a long time, but then he knew that the side by side thing wasn't going to work. And if I'd have fallen back first, maybe I'd be talking to you next instead of him.
Obviously, the leaning on each other. I mean, there was times where you guys kind of kissed each other. We'll say, left side, right side type of. Was it right side romance or whatever I think the line is? But you guys, I mean, Robin's racing, right?
Yeah, again, I'm not going to complain about it at all. I thought it was fun. I was hoping he wasn't going to say anything. A couple of times I came off the corner, I thought he'd be a little bit higher, and he has no reason to be higher. We're racing for the lead. I don't like racing guys like that for P10, but when it comes to the lead, like we're probably gonna take it up a little bit.
Talk about your
Had either of us wrecked, I think it'd be a different story. I think we knew when we could lean and when not to lean, and that goes to show what kind of racer he is. He's got a brain.
One of us do, at least. But no, I want to go back to the beginning of the race because you obviously started in the back there. I think you must have hit the wall, I'm guessing, in qualifying both times. But you obviously start in the back. You pit under that first caution, fuel only, and then you come back to pit road, obviously, kind of short pitted a little bit there with your teammate. You take tires and you start lighting off fires pretty much in the beginning of that run, throwing 2190s up and stuff like that, which helps you undercut the second. How big was that?
It was huge. I think the big mistake was when I came off pit road. Peyton and I were talking back and forth. He was trying to let me go because he was already a lap down. I didn't know when. I looked to his inside on exit, and I just way overshot the corner and lost a bunch of time. I don't know how much pit strategy would have come into play. I think a lot of guys fell off pretty hard, even aside from Strayer, who was P2, P3, and ripping the same lap times that me and Sam were ripping. I think everybody else fell off really hard. I'll just chalk it up to, a couple more practice laps than other guys this week. I don't think the pit strategy was too much involved. I think it was just a matter of really wanting to stick it to Sam after getting walked last week.
Hey, fair enough, man. Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations. Obviously, you still got those 3 wins in the bank to work with as you go to Gateway next week. So send some shout-outs to whoever you like to, buddy.
Yeah, Marconi setup shop all over the car. Best setup shops on the sim. Of course, Captain Esports for your banging podcast and stream here. And then, of course, the team. These guys are fantastic to work with, even if they kind of dip out early. I know that they're there in spirit, so I appreciate y'all.
Great job tonight, man.
Thank you.
You too. As Jonathan Tuckness obviously taking it with class, and unfortunately lost the battle to Sam in what was a great fight. One of that I'll be honest with you, was one of the best battles I've seen in a very long time amongst 2 cars going for a win outside of like a super speedway or something like that. So, I mean, I'm thinking off the top of my head here. It's been a while, and that's in all the series across the board. So, yeah, well done on both parts. So, let's get our winner up here, Sam Fontaine, who gets, by the way, he is now tied in the books on the Premier side, which is just strictly the Xfinity car. Obviously, I don't have the numbers to be able to show truck side. I know he's up there, if not past already, in the all-time wins list for GLSR. But on the Xfinity side, the Premier side, he is now tied with Stephen Miles for the wins list with 9. So congratulations, Sam, on the win there. And, man, Jonathan had nothing but nice things to say with the battle with you there coming to the finish. Obviously, it looks like just you backing off for those 10 laps were the difference and got you to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, well, backing off is not really the term I would choose, seriously. I was just driving on the limit the whole time. The thing it was to try to avoid being over that limit, and maybe with 12 or 15 to go, once I felt the right front, like just going in the corner, and I lost the whole feeling of the wheel in my hand, and I knew that right front was on the edge. So I tried to keep up with him. I was really hoping, but at that point, like my faith was kind of close to zero, and just like kept driving on the edge of like the car. I saw like Darkness was doing some interesting racing line and downshift, and I was hoping that he might be pushing it over the top. And at the end of the day, that's what happened, and I got lucky. But just like a great fight with him, like for that whole stint, like we were side by side for what, like 20 laps in the first half, and that was just great racing for sure.
And to correct myself real quick, it's 8 wins, not 9 that you two are tied with, but still up there at the top. So obviously, I mean, these two races, you get to Sonoma, you get to Victory Lane, you come here, and you get yourself the first win in the Triple Crown event that Joey just put up a sponsorship with there. And Gagnon mentioned it in chat, and I can't help but mention it to you now with Richmond and North Wilkesboro. Can you sweep this?
I mean, it's gonna be tough. Like we have really good drivers. Richmond drive different than a short track, and we all saw it tonight. Like Darkness is a great driver on short tracks. We have also great drivers on short track in the league, so we don't know what kind of bad luck we can get and anything. So I wouldn't put my dice all in the same basket. So hopefully we can get great results for the next couple of weeks and for that Triple Crown, and who knows what can happen at the end.
Well, great job tonight, man. That was well done. The thing that I noticed in the end is you two, no matter like, and Lucas kind of admitted he kind of became a viewer as he was running in third there. His times fell way off just kind of watching you two. But you two were still laying down 23, 20s, and 30s. You ran a 23 the last lap. He ran a 39, which is only, I mean, not much off the pace. I mean, when you look at the tire wear and stuff, considering how hard you guys were going.
Oh yeah, the follow-up was good, but not too bad on this track. And I mean, once you were passing the 20-25 mark in a stint, like the tire were just like getting even. Now, like it was just a question of not killing it and like overheating and getting a flat out of it. And I was really worried mid-stint, like the way we were driving the hell out of those cars. I was really worried that we might at the end of the stint like have passed that limit, but we were fortunate enough to have kept it cool enough. But yeah, no, like once we passed the 25th lap, it was just a question of like how bad did you kill it, and hopefully you can bring it on.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, big thanks to all my teammates who showed up tonight, everyone who showed up for the race, and obviously like Darkness, that was a really great fight. Scratched some paint out of that door here and there, but like it's super respectful, super cool. And obviously, well, the other two admins who made it possible this season, our sponsor, and for that Triple Crown also Joey Laducer who sponsored that with Mr. Radiator. Shout out to him.
Absolutely, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations, and enjoy the victory.
Thanks, mate.
Absolutely. Sam Fontaine, the winner here tonight, as he goes to Victory Lane at the Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And a big shout out to those guys for the fantastic race here this evening in the Downrange Transport Premier Series for GLSR. Obviously, great racing from everybody there. Only the 4 cautions here tonight. Obviously, Sam leading the most laps there, but wasn't without challenge there from Tuckness. Great runs tonight from the 41, of course, of Lucas Strayer, Jason Dalton coming back to a 4th place finish after kind of getting roughed up there early. Tyler Pluff, another top 5 to help him out in the points. And let's actually see if those are updated. Just give me a second here, and they are not. So they'll get updated here. Hopefully by the end of the week, and we'll show them to you next week when we're back on the air from Gateway. So hopefully we'll see you then Wednesday night at 8:45 Gateway or Worldwide Technology Raceway. Call it whatever you want, but we'll be at that 1.25 mile egg-shaped flat track, basically for more shifting and racing there. So should be a lot of fun right outside of St. Louis. Hopefully you'll meet us there, and we'll go enjoy that. So otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.